Right, let's go to Newcastle now. And Eddie Howe, he has just been speaking for the first time since Sandro Tonali admitted to betting on AC Milan games whilst he played for the club, now faces a lengthy ban. And this is what his managers had to say.
Yeah, he's very much with us. I think he trained twice this week with us. And yeah, no, he's very much available for selection. Like I do with all the players, analysing their training performances, how they look, how they feel. And Sandro's trained well with us.
Do you feel that he's in the right frame of mind to play if you select him?
He's had a very, very difficult couple of weeks. He's been dealing with a lot, and from what I can see, I see him for a few hours a day. From what I can see, he's handling himself really well, and he's dealing with his emotions incredibly strongly. But underneath that, I'm sure there's a lot going on. So I'll have to make a call. But always, I have to bring it back to football. I have to bring it back to his training performances and what he's delivering on the training pitch, and then try and make the best decision for the team.
There was a statement from the club about the situation a few days ago, and within that, it was said that you are supporting him and his family. And can you tell us a bit about the support you've been giving him and why it's important that you continue to do so, whatever happens next?
For me, it's absolutely crucial. It's the most important part of this whole incident is Sandro and his welfare. And it's very easy for people to forget how young he is, the changes he's had in his life, coming from Italy to England. That's hard enough to deal with, and now he has, of course, this situation. So we feel as a football club, well, straight away, it was throw our arms around him and protect him and try and give him the love and support that he needs to find solutions to the problems that he's had. And that's what we're endeavouring to do with a lot of conversations, a lot of communication with him and his family, because it's not just Sandro, it's the people around him that are going to be so important to him as well. So it's been a big effort from us, and I have to say he's handled himself, as I said, superbly well. He's been obviously emotional, but handled himself with respect and dignity.
Last one from me on this. Do you have any indication at this stage when you might hear more and you'll know what his future is going to be?
Personally, no, I don't. The other people dealing with that maybe have a better idea. But for me, my focus has been on Sandro himself and the training this week.
West Ham, before the international break, you were without a few players. One of them, Joelinton, who's had a couple of injury issues this season. Is he going to be back for you this weekend?
I hope so. He's trained well. He's looked good. He's done a lot of work. So I'm confident, as of I sit here now, that he's going to be okay, and hopefully a return to the form that we know he can produce. A huge player for us. As you say, we did have a few injuries. Not everything's cleared up, and we're not in perfect order, but certainly look a little bit better.
What about Alexander Isak? Because he came off towards the end of that match and then was sent back from international duty with Sweden.
Yeah, Alex hasn't trained with us yet, so he's going to leave it late to see if he's fit and available.
And Crystal Palace, you are going into the weekend side by side in the table, and they've got quite a few injuries. They also lost Wilfried Zaha in the summer, but it seems like they're going along quite nicely. What do you think their strengths are as a team?
Well, I think first, Roy's done an incredible job going back there in a difficult moment for the team. He brought, again, stability to the football club, as he does everywhere he manages. He brings organisation and a real structure to their play. Very, very difficult team to play against, difficult team to score against this year. Defensively, I think they've been very good. I think they've got, yes, they don't have Zaha now, but they still have very dangerous players and players that can hurt you on transitions, and they've got some real threats. So I think we can't underestimate the challenge, and we can't get blindsided by other distractions. For us, this game's going to be hard enough, so all our focus now is on our training and our preparation for the game.
And lastly, you've just come back from another international break. There is another one in 4 weeks' time, but it's going to be another busy and intense period for you, isn't it? Because you're playing games in 3 different competitions once again.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be. It's strange now looking back to last year, and feeling that was intense, and then you come into this period, which really is a different level. But it's something we enjoyed in the last period, and the team performed really well. So I think, hopefully, if we can continue to set our standards very high, we can continue our good form.
Keith.
Hi Eddie. Did the news on Sandro, did it come as a surprise to the club? You're saying that obviously it's been a difficult couple of weeks for him. I'm guessing that's when you maybe first knew about the situation.
Yeah, so I got a phone call from Dan Ashworth. I can't remember what day it was, but during the international break, and a total surprise to me, to him, to everybody. But these are the things when you're in this job and in this role that can happen. And as I said, my immediate thought process was for Sandro and just making sure he was okay. So yeah, very, very difficult period really.
I guess as a manager, you've got lots of challenges thrown your way. Is this a new one for you to deal with?
Just trying to think back. I think it probably is. Yeah, I think it's as you say, there's so many different things with people's personal lives that can happen. Footballers are human beings, and to look at them anything other is wrong. They can have, and we all have as humans, vulnerabilities, weaknesses, and things that happen in our lives that can be difficult. So the main thing is, if we identify it and then support the player and try and, as we'll always do, try and help them get to their best level on the football pitch.
You mentioned Sandro being young, and I think people forget that because obviously he's been captain over in AC Milan. Was he 23 years old? Do you think with gambling as a whole that perhaps needs to be more education for young players coming through, what they can do, what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do? Because we've seen a number of cases in recent times, Ivan Toney obviously being the most high-profile one.
Yeah, I think education is always, I think, the most important thing. It's in the academies, getting that information through to the players and developing good habits in your life, I think, is so important. As a professional athlete, trying to get as many good habits as you can to give yourself the best chance to have the longer career as possible. And certainly as a football club, that's our duty to do that.
And just finally for me on that topic, is there a concern from the club that perhaps AC Milan knew about this before Sandro arrived here in the summer?
Keith, that's something I can't comment on.
Okay.
I've got no idea. My thought process is all about Sandro and just trying to help him.
So Eddie confirming that Sandro Tonali has trained well and is available for selection for Newcastle's match against Crystal Palace tomorrow, despite his illegal gambling investigation.